holidays are lovely. You get to spend time with family, open presents, binge Christmas movies, get diabetic shock from hot cocoa, truly the soul of the country right here. But of course, if you're finding yourself listening to my dumbass voice, you already know that we're celebrating a little differently today. While I haven't made much in the way of content this year, we've still managed to dip our toes into some crazy shit. We've had Sasu, a guest appearance from the Piss Gremlin, we talked about some of Sasu's defenders, talked about a DeviantArt user for almost 2 hours, basically made 2024 a gold mine for some insane Nora lore. So, given that we're nearing the end of the year and I'm now an old lady who can vote, I figured I might as well talk about some people I've covered in the past and round out their stories with a little end of the year update. So, grab some cocoa, grab some snacks, and set your heater to the highest setting, because we are going to be some petty bitches this Christmas. For those who need a quick refresher on who this is, Allie was someone I was previously acquainted with for a few months starting at the tail end of 2022. So this started when I caught wind of her being accused of heinous shit by Buttons, who is someone that we'll cover a little later, which then led to me joining her Discord server and becoming cordial with her. This was mainly due to the fact that she was in a relationship with my friend Wist at the time. Now, as I worked on the video defending her, however, it became pretty clear that her server members, despite willing to say some of the foulest shit about Buttons in a little hidden chat room, were, let's just say, not so willing to grow a backbone when it came to being made fun of. Now, this isn't to say that I expected people to be like me, dishing out offensive jokes left and right to cope with being perpetually depressed, but at the very least, I was expecting all of these people, all grown adults, by the way, to do the bare minimum and learn to take jokes at their own expense. Guess I didn't agree though, since there were multiple instances where I had to make it clear to Allie to get her server members under control. Flash forward a few months, to the start of last February, and the beginning of my harassment from Sasu. Guess who was one of the first people to turn? Oh yeah, the woman I defended from being called a predator just a few months prior, because I guess loyalty means jack shit when a 16-year-old isn't kissing your ass. So after a fun back and forth for about a few months, I would catch wind of the actions of Allie and a few of her moderators revolving around misconduct with minors, leading to Allie's House of Horrors dropping in August, and also leading to her being ousted from her community. But why am I mentioning her if she was ousted from the community? Well, for a few reasons. One, I forgot to mention the part where she apparently tried running back to Sasu, who's a literal child groomer, after I tore her a new one last year. And two, because she tried coming back to Twitter last month, and you can tell it's her because of the Sona and the shitty art style. So let's go ahead, lay down the timeline of events here. You got Allie, who gets called out for her mods trying to groom a kid, and for abusive behavior on her end. Then she gets torn a new one so badly that she has to run to a group chat and cry bitter tears, comparing holding her accountable to bitching her out. And then, after all of that, you figure it's a good idea, come back onto Twitter under a new name, thinking no one's gonna find out who you are. Wait, let me correct myself. It's actually like 2 names, because she's got a second account apparently that she's had running since September. Again, same Sona and all. Surely this is nothing but regular roleplay cringe with nothing wrong at all in the slightest. Not at all. Oh wait, it's Allie talking about how you shouldn't push people out of their comfort zone and just be patient and shit. Because surely there isn't a history of her server members being pushy with kids and mentioning things like BDSM around minors. Surely there isn't a history of her pushing boundaries and having people be her personal therapist. Totally, there's no record of that at all on the internet. And you know, there's also Allie role-playing in casual conversation, you know, out of character. Jesus Christ, kill me. But I know you all aren't here to see this bitch being pathetic. You're here for some serious shit. You're here for tea. Luckily, I managed to dig something up during one of my many mountain-fueled tism bursts. I was scrolling through the huge Sasu doc that was passed to me back in July and managed to dig up one particular segment on Allie based on some testimonies. But before we touch on it though, it should go without saying that I in no way want people to go out and bother these people. They already did enough testifying against Allie, and I feel like that should be enough baggage for them. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and give this segment a read. A compelling question for those in Allie's kingdom. What happens when a member of the server knows too much about the true toxic nature of the individual showcased in this document one day have a falling out? With all that has been shown thus far, it becomes increasingly evident that possessing such knowledge would pose a threat to these individuals' friendly and sweet online personas, puts them at risk for targeted harassment. So I figured there'd be something in the doc. No, because it remained unfinished. I wonder why. So then I asked around. Turns out there was a server dedicated to taking down Allie. Guess what? Bit of a dead end there too, because it was relatively all the same shit that was in the doc. So what was the point of bringing it up if there was nothing to go off of? Because why not? Honestly, why not? It was already funny enough that Sasu and Allie had their own war rooms dedicated to me, but knowing that the one who posted a picture of herself thinking she was scary and intimidating fucked up so badly that she had a war room dedicated to her instead. It makes me feel the purest fucking lesbian joy. However, that wasn't the only thing that was funny enough to bring up here, because, well, we have this big-ass testimony from Allie herself, and trust me, this is beautiful. This whole incident involving Satsuko started back in February. Originally, she had her stuff stolen by Nora and their friends. Her OC's picture was taken and altered. Now, real quick, this is referring to the part of the drama where some of my friends took a, I guess, commission that Sasu got. I guess it was like her Twitter banner or whatever, and it was like a Fox version of her and an Alistair on some like Bambi type shit. And they sort of like cropped it and put no bitches over it. Yeah, no, that was just like a joke. Like, I'm not supportive of most of this shit that my friends did during that situation, but even I can agree that that part was a little bit of a fucking meme. And plus, I wouldn't really consider it stealing. I'd more so consider it like poking fun at someone by using like whatever cringe they posted online. I wouldn't really consider that theft. Then again, these are the same people that considered me just putting up Sasu's Sona on a thumbnail to be theft, but whatever floats your boat, I guess. So I jumped in and tried to defend her. They tried going after me. With Nora beat. Yeah, no. What happened was Allie jumped in on some shit after I defended her like a couple months prior, and my friends jumped her for it, because why wouldn't they? Like, you do realize you're going against someone who literally stuck their neck out for you like not too long before this, and yet you're surprised that people were going after you for it? Like, do you not see the fucking optics of doing shit like that? After that, it was silent until I want to say about April-ish, where apparently Nora was getting harassed by people as well as Beep. So Whist ordered Sasu to give the names of the people behind the alts. When she didn't, he threatened to release the information on what she had done to Lady G, the doxing shit. Yeah, good on him. Like, I'm just keeping a $150 with you. I'm not supportive of how Whist acted throughout the majority of this shit. I'm not supportive of him acting neutral, as much as I understand that he did it for his own sanity, but yeah, no, he was doing something good. He was basically just telling Sasu, hey, give me the names of the people going after my friend, or else I'm going to tell people about what you did. Could that be considered blackmailing? Yeah, sure, but let's be real, that's not as bad as all the shit Sasu did. Furthermore, in the conversation I had with my moderator friend and Sasu, I confronted her about the doxing and told her to tell me the truth. Did she initially do this and plan this? She did not disagree and tell me she did. She then suicide baited us and attempted to take her life because of this. Now listen, I don't want to sound insensitive or anything, but why does this matter? No, like, seriously, why does this matter? Like, even disregarding all the shit that we found out before with like the grooming and shit, why does this matter? Like, what? She tried to Minecraft herself because she was basically told to just tell the truth instead of like being a pussy about it. After this incident, she made a server called The Shit Show. On the server, we had discussed what Whist and Nora had done. What did Whist do? Like, seriously, what did Whist do? Like I'd argue the most he did was like kiss your ass a little too much, and you know, he usually only got involved when y'all started pulling him into shit, when he was just minding his business. What I did, like, yeah, sure, that's That's whatever, you can stretch your truth about that all you want, but like seriously, Whist was usually just in the background existing. April was also the time where Nora had made 6 videos on mine and Sasu's servers as well. You're giving me a way more credit than I actually deserve for that shit. Let's go ahead and break this down real quick. April, like around the tail end of March leading into April, is when I put out Sasu Part 1. That was on Sasu's server. And then I did, I technically count these as 2 streams even though they were in like 2 parts each due to technical shit, but I did Nor in the Dark 11. That was playing catch up. It wasn't even solely focused on Sasu, it was focused on just general internet shit based, like on the top of my head I can guess like the shit with Buttons, the shit with Melee, the shit with Coyote Lovely, all these people, you know, shit that went down since the last time I'd streamed. And then I did 12 and 12-2. Those were dedicated to Allie's server. So if we want to be more specific here, then I basically just did like 1 video and 2 streams on it. That's like 3 videos in total. So I don't know where the fuck you're getting the 6th one from. I mean, if you want to talk about like Sasu Part 2 and Allie's House of Horrors, that was like July and August respectively. After that, we had some silence for a good portion of the months. Then in June, I had some things in mind. I asked Sasu about them and why she had not sent the information on what she had said about me to Whist. I asked her several times about this because I was honest with her. I wanted to know the truth, but she wouldn't do it. Till the people who were in the server with us confronted her on why she would not fight. We managed to get the screenshots from her. I understand many people don't like screenshots, but with this, I needed proof on how serious this was. Why don't you like screenshots, Allie? Why don't you like screenshots? What, is it because screenshots kind of prove that you fucked up and you don't like confronting that? I guess you're kind of being honest with that. Really doesn't really say much considering this is the one time you've been honest within these couple of paragraphs so far. I have 21 of these screenshots. 21. She had told Whist about me and the server. Regarding what she has said, she has told him about my friend having a new boyfriend. Not only that, I was told that she told him about my friend's server and what's going on. And apparently I had 10,000 accounts. At the time I had about 4. We had confronted her when we realized how long it had been. The duration had been Whist giving my information about my friend's server from December to April. Gee, I wonder how it feels, knowing that Sasu wound up fucking you over and giving Whist a bunch of shit. We talked to her and told her she needs to understand what she did was wrong. She ruined the privacy of a lot of people on the server, not only me but my friends and partners. We told her she should not have done what she had done because a lot of people view this as a home for them. A lot of people view the server talking shit about us as a home? Yeah, no, if a bunch of grown adults think that a server talking shit about a child who made fun of them is a home for them, yeah, I think that's a sign to maybe like get therapy, maybe like touch some grass, both, if possible. She kept saying sorry, she didn't realize how much she was telling him. We snapped at her and tells her she needs to grow up and take responsibility. Oh, okay, so now you're telling her this. Not before, when she was doing all that stupid shit with like the doxing and harassing me. No, it's when she's telling Whist about shit that's going on your side of the fence. Understandable. Perfectly understandable logic there. She refuses to, ignores my friend consistently, and does not listen to me. She told us flat out today, 8/13/23, that she has not done anything. We told her she can't keep doing this. Many people come here and they want sanctuary, like I said before, skill issue, and they don't want to have their privacy ruined here. We have top named artists there, and many people who just want their privacy, just that, private. Oh, okay, listen, I don't want to be insensitive here, because like I'm friends with a couple has-been artists. I just want to say this, y'all are gassing yourselves up a little too much. Top name doesn't really mean shit, especially not in the has-been community. Like, yeah, sure, you draw stick figures, you draw a funny deer man, you draw like cringe shit about Valentino, treating him like a baby girl, like that doesn't really mean shit just because you have just a couple thousand followers on Twitter. Like, seriously, I don't, that doesn't make you top name. It gets worse. In the beginning of the shit show server, I informed her I didn't want any of my mods involved. What does she do? Involve them. To my knowledge, she has only involved one. And yet, Allie found it perfectly fitting to involve a bunch of her mods when it came to the hidden room back in December. I can name like a couple of people that were there. There was like Moki, there was Xavier, there was, who else? There was like Tex, and then Uyghur. She painted a picture for him of the people who confronted her at the server and asked her why she refused to make them out to be terrible people. These people have done nothing but be the sweetest, most compassionate people. Yeah, no, again, y'all need to stop gassing yourselves up a little too much. Sweetest, debatable. Compassionate, extremely fucking debatable, especially given the time that we're in. She then took what they were saying and what we had been telling her for the past 5 months and tried to say they blackmailed her into fighting back, when that's really not what they were doing. They were telling her to fight back. Fight back against what? The fuck you mean fight back? What, against me? Am I really that threatening to you? Because honestly, like, that's kind of impressive, but also depressing. Like, again, y'all are giving me way too much credit here. We told the mod and argued with him that the people she name-dropped had done nothing but be supportive of her. For a long time, the one who had talked back to her basically told her what we've been trying to say. Stand up and fight back and so forth. We dealt with our server fighting because of this. She disregards what we want and says how we want to have our normal lives back on Twitter again. She cries and says she wants us to understand. Yeah, no, if y'all wanted your regular lives on Twitter back, maybe y'all should have taken what I said to heart. Let's be real here. Had y'all acknowledged what I was saying about needing to grow a spine if you're going to be doing this type of shit, you would not be in the position you are now. Like I said before, I would have been on your side backing you up and things would have been perfectly fine had y'all just taken the fucking L. And then, you know, it goes on to say how Sasu apparently had surgery and something about birthdays. Nobody gives a shit. It's all about her. We pleaded with her to at least care about how we all felt, and yet y'all didn't care about how I felt, but that's besides the point. Her friends sat down with her and told her she had to fight back. She gave them a sob story and a yeah, I'll do it, but never did. She's been hiding behind everyone, not trying to fight back at all. And then some random trauma dumping bullshit. Like, that's whatever. I do think that it's funny how Allie says that they almost lost their friend because of how accepting he was of what Sasu was saying, which is kind of funny because I actually lost friends because of how accepting they were about what you and Sasu were saying. When it's not that easy, it's difficult for me because I have to deal with it from a political sense. I'm sorry, since when is kicking Sasu a political thing? This is like the fucking amino screenshots where they're like, listen, I like Sasu, even after she groomed a child, but we gotta kick her. You know, this isn't good for all of us. Like, just say you don't want to do it cause you like her. Just fucking say, but I like her though. All because she's tired of fighting and leaving me alone and giving me space when that isn't what I'm saying I want to happen. Give me a proper apology, and yet, I didn't get one after I demanded one, but that's whatever. Has she done that? No, she's been stealing ideas from people trying to get more attraction for her OC, says the serial tracer. She doesn't care because we snapped at her after we were done spilling our hearts to her. She slaps my friend across the mouth, and because once again she doesn't care about anyone but herself, which is exactly what I was saying for months, but I guess you didn't internalize that until it was too late. She doesn't care if it affected you guys. She says she does, but there's a thing called actions speak louder than words. Has she done that? No. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to apologize and mean it. She gave me such backwater backsass apologies. She also explained that she remembers random drama, yet does not remember her friends talking to her, making people out to be the bad guy regarding all these issues. Not only that, our friend had our partner put on full blast during a video. What, are you talking about Anime Maiden? Are we really gonna be bringing that up again? Listen, as much as I wish that I handled that a little better, I still kind of stand by the sentiment that if you hadn't fucked around, you wouldn't have found out. I don't know why you're making that much of a big deal about it. Just to make it clear though, we have worked things out. Anime Maiden, if you're hearing this for some reason, I'm sorry bestie, but that's the truth. Sasu remembers that, but didn't care to explain why our friend was angry, just as she was angry. Deliberately making our friend out to be the bad guy to her friends, she says she will work on it. So was I not your friend? Like last I checked, I considered us friends, and you know, when Sasu made me out to be the bad guy, y'all didn't care. So, what, were we not friends? Did me helping you out just not mean shit to you? I have no idea about this. More than likely the talk she had stated will just poof in her mind, not seeing the light of day once again. Says she doesn't remember, what more can there be? You know, it's kind of funny reading all of this out in hindsight after all the bullshit we learned about both Allie and Sasu. Like, let's be real here, all of this is just her making a victim out of herself because she was butthurt about karma catching up to her. This is who Allie is. This is who people are role-playing with. A terminally online, overly paranoid, manipulative backstabber, who basically just turned into the very person she fought against. Oh yeah, speaking of which. So, Buttons is someone that I can't really describe as quickly as I did Allie, so just know that he's existed on the internet for the better half of a decade and has managed to piss off just about everyone. Again, kinda hard to condense it into something digestible, so I'll link both Lio and Sarah's videos on him to bring you up to speed. As for my part of the lore, you can watch both of the previous Christmas specials, along with Deplorable Double Feature, and this other one that I did last year for all of that. But the key notes of my lore are this. Buttons and I were friends, I stuck up for him, he feeds me to the wolves because I was a minor, proceeds to fuck over my friends for a couple years. Okay, so now that we're all caught up, let's proceed with this pseudo-sequel to the Christmas trilogy. So, this part of the Buttons lore doesn't really involve me. It actually involves an acquaintance of mine named Bunny, and the only reason why they got, I guess, quote-unquote involved is because apparently Buttons got into some shit that I'm not even going to try and dissect for my own sanity, but the key notes that I got from it was apparently Buttons was dating someone that had lied about their age or whatever the fuck, and Buttons got mad about it. I'm not really sure on the specifics of that, and I don't really care to get into it. I just think that Buttons is fucking stupid for it. But this led to Bunny posting their document about the harassment they experienced from Buttons. Not really all too important to the lore, but the document is in the description if you want to read it. Main point is that Buttons didn't take too kindly to this, leading to him posting about Bunny, I shit you not, for, a week? And that's just at the time that I scripted this. By the time that this goes up, I guarantee he'll have talked about them for probably 2 weeks, maybe more. So, Piss Gremlin starts having a rage fit, posting some doc about Spoken and something that apparently proves Bunny was using his art as references, which, yeah, no, I looked at the screenshots and they don't really prove anything. They just prove that you were being a schizo talking about someone else in a group chat. Oh hey, just want to correct my fuck up a little bit here. So apparently in the third screenshot, at least according to Bunny's recollection, it does show them admitting to doing it out of painness, which, like, yeah, not a good look, so just want to take the time to correct that little fuck up. I know two wrongs don't make a right, but yeah, whatever. Moving on. And also talking about Lio for some fucking reason. Just a subtle reminder that the person who made the video, Lio Convoy, is a man who harasses disabled individuals and survivors of assault. Evidence in the thread, listening to a video made by a man who told a victim they wished to be a toy for their abuser says a lot about you. Because yeah, I guess Lio having done and said stupid shit automatically negates the things you've done and refuse to change from. Wonderful logic, Buttons. Truly wonderful. And then we get to the insanity. No, I don't mean Buttons LARPing as another person that just comes with the territory. We get to him constantly posting about Bunny via Telenym. Bunny is a can of worms. Sure, I feel bad that they're in an abusive home, but they're kind of staying a perpetual victim with this Eden shit. I've seen him lie on one hand more times than Eden he has with telling the truth. I'm rolling my eyes at this nonsense. Thanks for encouraging Eden to seek action about that turd finally. I'm sick of him. You know, it's almost depressing, yet hilarious seeing someone call Bunny a perpetual victim while not acknowledging how Angel has done just that for years. Like, I'm willing to bet that if you ask him about Whist, or even me, or someone like Dramakin, or Rosalind, whatever, he'd go on and on about how we're such horrible people who did awful things to him as if there isn't a mountain of evidence proving the contrary. Like, Senate, sure, whatever. Spoken, also, whatever. Maybe you can prove something there. I know Senate hasn't had the best history, and I know Spoken has had her own issues, which I've been very clear about, but no, please, continue with the delusion about someone who has done nothing. He had Eden's abuser draw a character that looked like Eden / his persona. That'd be me waking up to Bunny's abuser and having them do the same thing. It makes the victim relive their assault, that idiot own up to that shit and not just stealing that character. I swear this little asshole just continues to be a headache. Followed by Angel's quote-unquote mod saying, perfectly said. I am almost 100% sure that it was Bunny Sona that the person drew and not Angel's because, well,
let's be real here, Angel Sona is an absolute eyesore to look at, let alone draw. Also, like, how does that make you relive your abuse? Like, listen, I'm not a doctor, alright? I'm not a psychologist. Like, how exactly does that make you relive your abuse? That's like saying having someone draw Nora for me makes me relive my situation. Like, let's be real here, it's kind of fucking stupid to say out loud. Plus, like, just because it looks like Buttons' Sona doesn't mean it is his Sona. Like, Buttons has stolen from other people before, and Bunny's Sona is one of them. So, again, I'm pretty sure it was Bunny's Sona and not, you know, his. Also, like, do we even know if that was Angel's abuser? Like, listen, I'm all for hearing out victims. I just want to make that very clear, but do we know? Make it make sense. You know, evidence required, citation needed, all that dumb shit. Wow, I've read Eden/Angel's threads. Moon Bunny is actually insane. What do you mean he went to a sexual abuser and it has a chat room with him? Moon, ew, fuck you, my skin crawled. Angel's not online, I'm sharing his story on his behalf, but yeah, Bunny is a disturbed and broken person. I'm sorry, are we calling someone else broken and disturbed? One, without any self-awareness, because, like, fucking look in the mirror, and two, like, how do we know that it was your abuser? Like, again, citation needed. If you have anything, I would love to see it, but also, like, why are we calling Bunny disturbed and broken for just, like, asking someone to draw some shit for you? Are we saying that all people with Bunny's situation are just disturbed and broken? Like, is that what we're saying, or are we really gonna die on that hill? Why did Bunny start using Eden's name that he used to use? That's creep behavior, what the fuck? And his mod goes, because he's a creep who wants to be Eden. I'm sorry, what? What? Are we just going to pretend like multiple people can't have the same name? Am I just supposed to get fucking up in arms when someone else has the name Charlotte? Because, like, only I can have that name? Or are we really going to be this retarded here on fucking telonym.com? And also, like, imagine being so fucking self-centered that you think that someone else having the same name as you means they want to be you. Like, I'm pretty sure no one wants to be you. Bunny is a coward and continues to lie. He's just getting in on the high emotions going on right now so he knows people won't fact check. Cowards are as cowards do. Yeah, no, you're not one to cast stones, considering the fact that whenever people ask you for proof, you just fucking run away and throw a bitch fit, and also the fact that you refuse to answer for the shit that you've said about me and Whist for, what, the past couple of years now? And then, like, you also have, you know, Angel posting about how he can't be in any fandoms because Bunny just so happens to be in them. Because, again, multiple people just can't be into the same shit. Like, that isn't how other fandoms work. Like, does that mean I can talk shit about my partner for being into the same things as I am? Am I allowed to get mad at Chase for being into Has-Been Hotel? Am I allowed to, like, fucking get mad at him because he also uses Ibis Paint or whatever the fuck? I've noticed a consistent pattern. How can you claim that you're a victim of someone stalking you and then join every fandom that they grew up with? He never touches any fandoms that Bunny isn't too, because that makes him uncomfortable that they would share that. He has no reason to get into those, so why would he? Eden has friends that are very into One Piece and he would possibly love him to join, but the idea that Bunny exists in that space is enough to dissuade him. Again, like, Are you unhinged? Are you deranged? Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness? Actually, scratch that. We already know the answer is yes. Why can't you just, like, exist in that space away from Bunny? Like, what, are you afraid that people are gonna catch on that you're in that fandom and just, like, shun you out because you don't deserve to be in any spaces, especially, like, not around children or anyone vulnerable because of your history? Are you just that afraid that people are gonna find out? Is that why you don't want to be in those communities? And the thing is, like, this is all in, like, what, a day or two? I wonder how it's going, like, 8 days later. You know, I know Bunny always gave me a weird feeling. He redid his Stolen Lamb thing and their backstory is going to hell after committing Minecraft. Didn't Eden's brother, you know? So is Bunny saying that his brother's in hell for it? What? What? Like, here's the thing. I initially thought that Angel was just blaming shit that other people said on Bunny, but, like, I'm reading this out loud and I'm like, yeah, no, he's unhinged. Because, like, let's be real here. Someone's, you know, Sona going to hell after Minecrafting themselves, for lack of a better word. Yeah, no, like, that doesn't have anything to do with your personal situation. Like, here's the thing, right? I am sorry for what happened in your life, Angel. There's no sarcasm behind that. I really am sorry for you. But for the love of fucking Christ, like, not everything is about you. Not everything is about whatever the fuck happened to you. And pretending like it is, you're just lying to yourself. So, yeah, no, that's all the insanity that we have with Bunny. I just wanted to talk about the shit with Bunny because I just want to back up a friend of mine because I can. It's kind of funny watching him spaz out over someone who has done literally nothing relating to him ever since that post about the document. Unless maybe you count the occasional telling him post, but that just means they're even on that front. Angel, I just have one question for you. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe you should just not be such a huge twat? Like, maybe just mind your damn business and act decent to people, instead of just being a fucking psycho like usual? Because Christ in a fucking gravy boat, this is just sad. Like it's funny as hell. Don't get me wrong, don't pretend like this isn't hilarious, audience. I know you're all laughing at this while you're drawing, but it's mostly just really sad. Oh, and just one more thing before we move on. Angel, I'm 18 now, I can vote now, I'm not a pussy like you, so go ahead and take your best shot, because I would love an excuse to come out of hibernation next month.
Now onto the last and more recent entry for today. Now, you all might recognize Core as the one who did a variety of things, including, but not limited to, stalking, harassment, endangering minors, art theft, multiple acts of just being fucking crazy. Oh, and something I forgot to mention last time, actual assault. Yeah, no, that's something we're going to touch on a little later, but before we do, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge one of the comments on the video. No, not the one about elitism and fucking healthcare. That's a different subject. We're talking about this one from Core's partner. Yeah, I'm just as surprised as you are that they have a partner, but whatever. I do want to be mad clear here and say that I'm Dove's partner and also very, very much supportive of them getting shit for certain things. I've been on their ass a few times myself. They're far from perfect, but they're actually trying very hard. I'm fully disconnected from most of these people, so I can't speak for most of them. I have known Batty and Daya though, been around them for long enough to have input, and I'll say firsthand that they're not really sources to listen to. We've had problems before ourselves, I'll admit that up front, but I don't want to get into character shit at all because it's not relevant. I have, however, on numerous occasions watched them either completely blatantly make shit up in private or lie by omission, as well as send people to harass Dove directly or indirectly. For example, Batty made an hour-long video a lot like this one. The description of that video notably claimed both that they were defending Dove against the doxing that had happened, supposedly due to other shit that Batty had said, but I can't confirm or deny, while also claiming it never happened, which I mean, I don't know, maybe it was just an I didn't know at the time thing, but it feels nasty to me. It's a gross situation all around, and Dove has done a lot of fuck shit, and they're never gonna fully live it down, but they're at least trying to. They're trying so much to be a better person, like constantly. I mean, hell, I wouldn't give them the time of day if they weren't. I'm disabled and already fighting my body enough. I don't have the energy to waste. They rightfully get a lot of shit for the things that they did, even if it's been a long ass time on most of it, but the sheer fucking extent of it has reached a point that is entirely absurd, and to be honest, that's just as much on Dove because they refuse to stop treating it like anything more than a love of drama. I'm not going to be having anything more to do with this if I can help it, because again, I'm entirely too tired. If there's some follow-up or whatever, I ask that I be left out of it. I'm sure I'm going to be getting shit anyway, because deeply, truly, people are rapid about this shit, but I hardly use any social media anyway, so I might as well. The most I'll do is provide clarification or references as far as I can reach on things I've already said, if I'm asked. Message me on Tumblr, former home of where shit like this used to go down, at the URL Fungal Fool if you need any of that. Just don't harass me, I'm not thrilled to be in the spotlight to begin with. Editing this just to add, everything I know has been recent mined. I've already known Dove for about 2 years now and was blissfully left out of all of it and even completely unaware of it for a good bit. I inserted myself one time to tell people to stop following them around, one time to clown on Batty's entirely disconnected and unintelligible ramblings, and I was forcefully put into it once about 2 months ago when someone posted something literally just blatantly and provably untrue about me on Twitter because I'm connected to Dove. I think that's everything cleared and put on the table now.
Okay, so there's a lot of shit to unpack here right off the bat. Firstly, the part about Batty and Dia not being good sources. Batty, somewhat understandable, considering her history, but I would still consider hearing her out, especially since she was one of the people closest to Core, along with the fact that at least her testimony, from what I saw, had less gaps. But Daya recounted shit that hadn't been made public to my knowledge. Not to mention the fact that she even said that there was something she left out. Everyone else in the trifecta would be able to fill in the blanks. Along with the fact that when I talked to them, I went into those interviews with the same set of questions. And yet, I walked out with varying but still overlapping answers. Again, they filled in the blanks and even backed up each other's story, so I don't know how in the hell Daya would be an unreliable source if other people are willing to testify that what she said was true. Not to mention the fact that there hasn't been evidence of them sending people after Core. Though, since you claim to know that they did, I would gladly like to maybe see a little evidence. A little screenshot or two, maybe a testimony in this comment would have been a little better, but whatever. Next, the comparison between mine and Batty's videos. Setting aside the joke that I made in the Core video about not watching that 2-hour clusterfuck, Batty's video was framed as addressing the situation with Lumi, but was mostly just a huge nothing burger. Hell, a few of the people I talked to even agreed that maybe it should have been handled a little better considering how inflammatory the whole situation was. The reason why my video was as long as it was, that being an hour 40, was because I didn't frame it as just focusing on the doxing incident. It was chronicling everything Core had done to my knowledge, adding in testimonies from other people, and even acknowledging the fuck-ups other people had made. That's why mine is arguably easier to sit through, because I made it easier to sit through. No offense to Batty, of course, but that's the truth. Thirdly, the sort of half acknowledgement of Core's actions while trying to wash it aside by saying Core's getting better. I'm just gonna say this right now. The only way Core gets better is if they leave. Permanently, not coming back after a little bit without so much as a peep about what happened, not by pretending to go to the ward, not by acting like nothing's wrong. They need to leave and not come back. I'd say they should also get a job, but maybe they shouldn't, since they couldn't handle working at a fucking vape shop of all places. And it's not made any better by Milo admitting to only knowing Core for 2 years and being kept in the dark about a lot of the shit that went on. Like, great job. You made it even more obvious that you're just here to stick up for someone who is willing to even lie to you. Love really is blind. And what makes this all the more frustrating is that I would have just been willing to let this lie and not talk about it. But Milo, in his absolute fucking genius, decides to keep trying to die on the hill of defending Core against people who have known them longer and have way more shit to say than I do. Again, love is blind. But it gets funnier. For context, I hadn't talked to Core since around the end of September, after that second interview where they broke down and left over me just asking some questions. But I took a quick peek at my messages not too long after the video went up, and I found this. Even though my parents will be in debt, I'm asking my mom to put me into a mental ward. I have screenshots of Batty being an unreliable source, but that doesn't matter in the end apparently. Hope you're happy, make all the videos you want about me, my support system is gone, and I have nobody. Ah yes, nothing like one last act of guilt tripping before sending yourself off to the ward. Also, you literally have your partner and a bunch of other people that are still willing to kiss your ass, and yet you apparently have nobody? Did no one proofread this? Did they just not think this through, or do they just not think in general? And you think that'd be the end of it? Core goes off to the ward, we'd all live happily ever after in peace. Except Core was still accessing their Discord, changing their PFP and name constantly while they were supposedly off getting help. In fact, I checked the chat periodically just to nab some screenshots for the video, and the profile was changing constantly. In fact, let's just run this down real quick. So this is one of the first screenshots from Core and I's DMs. Peek the profile and name. Yes, that means the artists have to tab out of whatever program they're using to go look at this. And also keep in mind, this screenshot was from October 1st. Going once, going twice, moving on. Okay, so now here's the next one from October 12th. We are like 10 days away from the video releasing. Again, look at the profile details and the timestamp. Now let's move on to 10 days later. This is when the video drops, October 22nd. Again, here's the screenshot, and here's the timestamp. Peep the profile, peep the name. This is the first instance of it changing. And now let's go forward a week after the video launches, and that's when I took this screenshot. So why does this matter? Well, the first time I saw they were back online was on the 30th when I saw they were reposting shit on Blue Sky. And then I hear from a friend of mine, like 2 weeks later, this is November 14th, that they were apparently getting help for a month. Never mind the fact that they were active on Blue Sky at least a few weeks prior. Never mind the fact that they had access to Discord when a ward would actually take things away like your phone. Apparently they were off getting help. Now, to be fair, a friend of mine could have been misremembering it, but then I also heard from another person who knew Core in real life that they stayed in the ward for a week. So either one of those two people is lying to me, or at least misremembering it, or Core told them some bullshit. Now, this doesn't rule out the possibility that they actually were getting help, but that also raises the question of why they tell two people entirely different things. Plus, there have been people who either know Core in real life or know them online that have told me that they have a history of lying about seeking therapy. Now again, to play devil's advocate, it doesn't rule out the possibility that they were telling the truth in this instance, or that maybe they were just exaggerating it a little bit. Maybe they were in the ward, got therapy, all that shit. But again, a little sus when you put all this together, especially when the timelines just don't match up. The only time where it would have worked for Core to have been in there for a month is if it was from the 29th, which is after I stopped talking to them, up to the video releasing, but that doesn't make sense because, well, the message that was sent implied that I had made the video and that they were getting help after it. So what the fuck is up with that? It doesn't make sense for it to be a week because the first time I heard about it was, well, the 29th, and their messages had changed from the 22nd to the 29th. So what the hell is up with that? If they were in there for a week, well, why were they accessing their Discord? You know, of course they could have done that after they got out, but still, it looks a little fucking weird. Then again, I could just be reading too much into this. But now we get onto the segment that I was debating on whether or not I should do, and that's addressing something that really irks me about this whole Core situation, specifically the aftermath of it. Now, I can understand willing to give people a second chance. Tolerance is a powerful thing, and I have given people second chances. But there is a line that has to be drawn at some point, either when they keep fucking up, or when they fuck up so badly they don't deserve a second chance, and Core has pretty much done both. So when I'm being told that a victim of Core reached out to someone, not even demanding anything of them, that they should just probably not hang around Core given the shit they did, only to be shut down instantly and have to hear excuse after excuse about how Core was in the pit for a while, yeah, no, it kinda fucking irks me. Like, let me make this clear here and now. I could not care less if you just don't want drama. That's your ballpark, and I can live with it. If you want to be a pussy, that's up to you. But when you're being told, not just by some random person, but by someone they assaulted, by a victim of theirs, who knows them IRL, to just block them and move on, maybe you should hear them out a little bit, especially when you already cut Core off once. Furthermore, I really could not care any less if Core was actually getting help. They've still made enough of a mess to where they shouldn't even be thinking of coming back. Yeah, I'm aware that Batty and Yuki and all these other people also made a mess, and by that logic they shouldn't come back either. But at least with them, they have people to keep them grounded in reality. They have people who have the heart to tell them to quit being idiots. Hell, I'm one of them, but Core never had that. It's not because they've been defamed or isolated or whatever. It's because they just refuse to have people around them who do anything but kiss their ass. And if this was Buttons, or Allie, or even Sasu, claiming to have gotten help after causing disaster after disaster, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So why should Core be given special treatment? What, because they're nice to you? Because they were, quote, defamed and isolated, in your words? Because last I checked, I didn't give those excuses to Batty, so I don't know why you would for them. And as for Core, I already tried helping you. I tried stepping in to back you up when you got doxxed by Lumi, but then you lied. And then you lied again. And then you ran away like a pussy. And then you tried to get me to feel bad for you. And then you came back online not too long after. The road to redemption has long since collapsed. Just give it a fucking rest already. So, now that I've just flooded the last god knows how long with doom and gloom, we might as well just end things on a happy note for once. It is Christmas after all. You know, it's kind of weird, being 18 now and just getting to do whatever the fuck I want. Yeah, the stakes are a bit higher since I don't really have as much of a safety net if I see something out of pocket, but, you know, then again, I do get to enjoy looking at women with some of the people I love most, and I also get to make women. I hope you all enjoyed the last video of 2024. It has been a wild ride, full of so many memories and so much trauma. Hopefully 2025 isn't as boring and I get to stick to the one video a month schedule. But with that, if you all enjoyed, go ahead, do all the usual YouTube shit, like, subscribe, whatever the hell. And with that, let's move on to this video sponsor, Missing Stars. Missing Stars is truly the visual novel of all time, featuring all the things that other games in the genre are missing. We got women and women. Look out, Toki Toki Literature Club, you got some stiff competition over here. Made by a team of people I don't know and a French person I do know, you get to walk around and click through text while staring at women. And honestly, I don't know what more you could ask for from a game like this. Missing Stars, now available for free on Steam.